Love it.
I've been listening in, finally logged into my computer here.
Well, then you really love it.
I've been listening in, finally logged into my computer here at the school. But I've been listening in on my drive and everything. And really interesting, Ken, to hear when you talk about the culture change. And so I have a question for that. And then a question that came out of what Tim was talking about in a conversation that Wally and I had before, that I would challenge any and all people on this call with that because it came out with a couple of things that you've said, Ken, as well. So I guess the first one is, what would be the number one thing when first when you're stepping in to change culture that you saw as being key? And then the second one is the one that I think applies to all of us. As you said, you've evolved as a coach. What would be the one thing that you would tell a young Ken Babey as he was starting out? What one of those things that you've learned that may have helped you earlier in your career?
God help us if there's another Ken Babey out there.
Well, that one came from a conversation Wally and I were having about Jim and Peter and Terry and Tom and Dom and everybody, Sammy, they're all on this call, that we all learn from our experiences. And what would we tell ourselves as a younger person, both as a player and as a coach?
Yeah, great question, Jordan.
Okay, well, tough questions, Jordan. The first one, well, I think just that we had to, when I first came to this team, we just had to implement some form of a program where the guys were on the ice on a regular basis, were training in the gym, cardio-wise, just putting in some sort of a training program. Because as I mentioned, it wasn't necessarily part of the program. I guess some guys, from what I had heard and understood, some guys worked out, some guys didn't. And, to play against the Americans, we had to get fitter. So that's one of the first things we did. And that caused a lot of rub with some of the guys. And it didn't go over well initially, but now it's just part of our culture change. And so that was one aspect. And then the other aspect was just equality amongst the group, where everybody was equal in terms of their status within the team. The only thing that was different was maybe their ice time and their roles, and that was earned by their performance. And so, I just wanted the guys, and I've been a big believer of this for me personally, and that's how we raised our family the same way, our kids, is that everybody's equal. They're all equal. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses, and we needed to find out, first set that in, and then also find out what roles guys could play so they could show their strengths and we could hide their weaknesses in that role and allow them to flourish, starting with their strengths, and help them build up their weaknesses from defining a role for them. So that was the second part of the culture change I believe was important. Just the idea of what does it mean to be a good teammate? What is a good team citizen? What do they do? And so I spent a lot of time trying to teach a lot of the players about what it meant to be a teammate and what it meant to be a good citizen. And, to be honest with you, when I first got in the program, there was a lot of bullying going on. There was bullying, and it was unnecessary, and we had to root that out. And I believe we did that. I don't believe we have that now. I don't see it, and I don't feel it. I'm just not saying there isn't something there, but I think we have a more inclusive, equal environment for our guys now. But it's taken 7 years to get there, 6 years to get there, 7 years to get there. So those two to me come out. What I tell younger Ken Babey is slow down. Don't be so excitable. Don't get so excited and passionate about things. Maybe take a deep breath, think it over. Don't make emotional decisions, because I made a lot of those when I was young, and even when I first got into this, I made some emotional decisions, which you should maybe take a 24-hour break before you make them, right? And think about things. So it's good to have energy and passion. I love that. And that's me as a person, but sometimes you got to dial it back. And that's what I tell myself. And another thing is don't keep score. Don't keep score. Which coach has got this job? Which coach has got this job? Which coaches are going here? Coaches are going there. Just define your own success and then make a plan towards achieving it, whatever you want for your success. That's what I tell a younger version of myself.
I love that define your own success, Ken. Wally, it fits smack right into the mission statement thing that you're working so passionately, so hard at, trying to encourage, especially minor coaches to implement into their plan. And I'm kind of, I'm going to be helping Barry out with the Alberta Cup if it, I guess, COVID-wise, if it goes off here. But one of the things that I'm going to encourage them to do is sit down as a staff and do a mission statement thing, and then maybe go through it with the players, even in that short-term competition. Fits right into that. Definitely wise word, Ken.
Tim, Barry's put together a pretty good document, Hockey Alberta written document about that. You might check with him on that format, and I don't know whether he's sharing it with all mentors or all teams to experiment with, but Ken, it's an exercise I picked up years ago when Dave King was working with the team, the original national team, not the original one. I was with the original one in the 60s. But he was asked to coach the national team and at the same time provide the Center of Excellence with resources that the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association could use, produce Coach 1, Coach 2 videos that you're familiar with. And we were tasked, Dave was, to produce a mission statement, not to do something about respect in sport. And so the mission statement exercise is something that was written into the Goal 3 video, which never came to fruition because, like all things, leadership changes. The Canadian Amateur Hockey Association took over Hockey Canada. The national team disbanded, and the perspective piece and why you coach, the question why, is something that the mission statement helps you do. So I just want to alert you to that, Ken, and it's been a big part of why I'm doing this to this day, because I've done it since that day and I always wondered why it wasn't implemented into the coach certification program. So coaches thought about why they were coaching and the importance of life skills learned through sport in becoming a better person and a better athlete. So
that's a really cool idea. I'll just share with you one of the things that we did over the COVID is we remember I said that we had to stay connected to our players, and we did some hockey talks, and then through our mental performance coach consultant, we had the players come up with their own mission statements in their cohorts about, okay, what's offensively, what's a 2-sentence statement that can describe our offensive play, defensively, specialty teams, game mentality. Those are the 4 areas they had to write a statement about. So the groups, they went back, they developed it, then they came back as a larger group, presented to each other, then they narrowed it down. And so this is our kind of our team mission statements in terms of how we approach those 3 playing areas of the game, and then just our game mentality. And then also we had them develop a code of standards or standards of excellence for themselves. So what is the expectation they have on each other in terms of their compliance and training? And it used to be about 70%, then it went to 80%. Now they've decided to go to 90% compliance. So that means every player is committed to being 90% compliance, or they're tying it to their funding. So it's this is all players driven. So they have that statement in there. They have standards about practices. They have standards about games, like how many shots they want, et cetera, et cetera. So this is kind of, we turned it back to the players, and they've come back to us with what they see their standards are. We maybe refined it a little bit, sent it back to them, and then just agreed upon it. So it's been kind of a cool exercise, and I think it's very, very beneficial that they define their own success for their team, because it is their team, and we're just part of the team.
Sammy, I was just thinking of the National Women's Program and the mandate of keeping your logs and sending them in periodically. And I think what Ken just did is basically provided a solution for being able to set a standard of excellence created by the players that they will comply to. That's excellent, Ken.
I think that accountability component has been really key for your team, for sure. Right. And nowadays, with it all being data driven on your phones, the guys can link in, but also all of their heart rate monitors are linked back to Calgary, so they can't cheat the system. Yeah. Back in the day, we probably could have cheated the system a little bit more than they can now. But I know Sunday night they have to have their logs in for that week, and often Sunday night, 10:30, after everybody's gone to sleep, Billy is down doing another cardio because he didn't get that in. And there is that accountability component, and for somebody like him to see a green check mark means something because he doesn't want to let his teammates down. So. Yeah. We didn't necessarily have an ability to do that back in the day without it being on a phone and having all these links and everything. We just I think Wally, your staff started that with us, and that was huge for our development. And now to see where they've taken it and where it can go with in a digital world is pretty amazing. It would take a lot of work, though, I'm sure, Ken, on your end and from your staff end to monitor it and make sure it's all up to snuff and doing the right things. But it certainly, I know for the guys, has really made a big difference. They hate it, but
they hate it. I know they hate it, but it's going to pay off for us. And they are the most fit we've ever been, and it's going to pay off for us. And and you know what? That's a great point. We talk about it. We say, what? I know, guys, I wouldn't like to do that either, but we got to do it. And you have to stay on task with each other. And it's great that they came up with the 90%. That's amazing in our final this year here, and they're holding each other accountable for it, and it's worked beautifully so far. Like you said, I know Billy's not the only one jamming them in, and that's life, and that's good though. That's good.
Yeah, you get them in when you can, right? And you do it.
Yeah.
Like so many things are just chatting their love hate. They hate it, but they at some level they love it because it's bringing the team together.
Right. That's a good point.
And
I think for better. A lot of them, they've never had accountability in their lives. Depending on their home situation, you can imagine what it would be like as a parent with a disabled child. You want to protect them from everything, right? You don't have the high expectations necessarily that you would. Now that's different for some of the guys, but this would be the first time in their lives that somebody would have had these expectations of them. So initially, it is hard, but I think for them as men moving forward in their families, in their lives, this is such a key component to them being able to manage the rest of their lives.
That's a great point, Sammy. And that's one of the things I talked to our coaches about. I said, you know what? And I'm talking mainly about the younger guys here. I said, we got like Sammy brought up, our team's so diverse. We got guys 17 years old to 34, 35 years old, married with kids. We got guys with kids. We got guys married. We got guys that are millionaires. We got guys that live on their check monthly. We got all kinds of different situations. And we had to find some bonds and linkages for them. And this has been a great one. And I think it's just so amazing to see how they've come together, and they've linked this team. It's their linkage that's carrying us right now.
I'm so glad you didn't have to resort to the Herb Brooks tactic back in 1980, where the only way to bring the East and West guys together was to hate the coach. So you didn't have to quite go there, which is great.
Well, we tried that earlier. It didn't work.
And Herb, what a great, tremendous guy Herb was. Like, wow, a joy to play for me.
He was a legend.
Tim, you got to play for Herb Brooks?
Yeah, and right after 1980, when he got hired in New York, he brought Bobby Hull to training camp with us that year. Tremendous man, loved him to death, and it was like the guy. Most of the guys have heard the story many times, but Fred Shiro we had the year before, and he left the coaching, on ice coaching, to Mike Nicklock, and Mike, a wonderful man, but stuck way, way, way back in the 50s with his coaching style. He was like literally the same practice every single day, like for weeks and months on end. And then Herb came in the next year and was something different every day. Flow, tempo, offensive, thinking offense, way more than thinking defense, and creativity. It was a breath of fresh air. He was a true passion fueler, if you will, in terms of the players. He let us play and encouraged us to be creative. It was wonderful. Terrific guy.
Ken, the insights are incredible. I'm wondering, relative to what Ken said, every one of the people that are on, Dom, Jordan, Tom, I think we've had a lot of things reinforced about basically fundamental coaching. When I sent the email out, Ken, I said it doesn't matter what sport you coach, and I can add what sex you coach. It's the athlete, the person. It's the relationship and the communication that goes on to basically grow the person. So I'm really pleased with that. Any thoughts, Dom? You're in a change environment. You've coached professional sport, played professional sport, and now you're in a school setting where winning is still a factor, recruiting is an issue, and Ken has gone through his lifetime and achieving what I think is a pretty positive culture in his environment. So, any thing to add, Dom or Jordan?
Yeah, I mean,
questions? Go ahead.
yeah, no, I mean, as I say, I mean, the one piece for me that sticks out, and you touched on it briefly, just is the accountability piece, and you recognize that it's important. As a player, you fight with it, and as I say, it's become more and more apparent. As your role as an assistant coach, you hear the account, and again, it's all in your messaging, it's all in the respect that you have from the players and everything like that. But now, first time as a head coach, you definitely see its importance, and yeah, it's just trying to figure out what the best way is to do it in a respectful manner. But it is clearly, the players will fight against it, and they have, and and it's just finding the right way to go about it. So it's, yeah, your insights have been super valuable for me, just to get just little nuggets here and there, and yeah, it's just reiterating a lot of what you already know, but obviously now when you're applying it yourself, it makes it all that more important.
I'm really curious about that accountability piece. We all talk about it, and Ken, everybody grows up playing a sport, and when you get to the quote, and I say this facetiously, elite hockey with kids. Right now they're starting at 8 years old and whatever, but let's take Jordan's environment, elite hockey, Bantam AAA, midget AA, midget AAA, and the problem with the elite minor hockey system is all they do is shorten the bench and try to win. I don't think they're yelling at them as much, but they just shorten the bench. They're creating entitled citizens. And so the entitlement of minor hockey, learning the life skills of while you play a minor sport is an opportunity. That's what minor sport is all about. And you develop elite athletes in the process, but more important, elite citizens. So, Dom, remember that at your school, and that's what it's all about. And the results will come over time. And Ken, it's really good to see that you've come full circle to that point with the group you've got. And Jordan, anything to add?
Not much to add other than it was great listening to you talking about how much importance you're putting on the culture side of things. Because for me, that's been a huge growth piece. And when Wally talks about the culture in minor hockey and elite minor hockey and how the shortening the bench and those pieces play such a dominant role in many ways. And that's not my philosophy at all. And the team we selected this year is all on character. Of course, want talent with the character, but character was the first piece. And I actually had Sammy Joe speak to the girls a couple of weeks ago and saw one of the things that when you talked about your culture and shifting it from knowing that there was some bullying in the dressing room to where you see it now. I've had that experience before with elite female hockey where there was a definite, what I'd call a caste system.
Right. Yeah.
To with this one, when Sammy was talking to them, she asked them to share different things along the way, and I was looking at and hold it up on the card, and when I was seeing what the girls were sharing and how intimate or personal it was, I was like, okay, so the culture, and I wasn't about to throw my shoulder out patting myself on the back, but I was saying the culture on this team is pretty good. If these girls are willing to, hopefully, fingers crossed, the season will continue on. These girls are also showing that when you give everyone the opportunity to play, that they've made their way to the top of the league. And my one assistant coach was saying, we've got the #1 power play in the league, and she was looking on the website, and I said, no, I didn't know that, but I said, I see that they score when they're out there on it, and she laughed. So I said, it must be because we have such a well drawn up PP and use such specialized players on it. And she goes, you mean the next group that are at the door get to go out on power play? I said, yeah, other than the kids that earned the power play, they get to, if they're not too late in a shift, they get to start the power play because they drew the penalty. But we will look at defining roles a little bit more here after Christmas, but it was one of those things of making sure that all those kids get the opportunity to learn and develop. And so, I was really enjoyed hearing that culture piece, Ken, and the evolution piece that we as humans have to evolve, that we aren't the same people we were. Like, I look at my teaching career and go, oh my God, some of the mistakes I made in my first year in the classroom, to if I walked into a teacher's classroom as an administrator now and saw them teaching the way that I was then, I'd probably having some very pointed conversations with them. So thanks for sharing, Ken.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
I want to thank you very much, Ken. It really compliments the Sharks. Tom Malloy, you got your hand up. Looking forward to it. Go ahead.
I just had a really neat experience yesterday that just wanted to share with everybody. I'll show you this glove here. And what happened is this baseball glove, can you see it?
Yes, we can see it. Oh, wow.
It's hard to know it's a baseball glove, but But what happened is Carlos from Guadalajara, Mexico, he dropped by last night, and what had happened is about 15 years ago, they brought Jim and I down to Guadalajara to do a week-long camp. And then his sons came up for different hockey schools. And they borrowed my ball glove, and I guess they must have taken it down there with them. But anyways, he had someone beat it, put the beads on it, and he tells how they did each one separately. He watched them, and they brought a belt for Jim. But this camp, it was like they had a rink in the middle of Guadalajara. There's 29 kids in the organization. So they skate on the ice with bicycle helmets on, shin pads with just tape, no socks, like unbelievable, like they'd never really played hockey. And I remember one time a kid got a stick in the face and he got cut. So the mother comes to the bench, stitches him up on the bench, and then sends him back on the ice. And I don't know if she was a doctor or just a seamstress with stitches with her. But it was, and every day he took us, we practiced from 8 to 11 in the morning, and then he took us all around their province and, showed us different things. It was unbelievable experience. But anyways, he, for some reason, he decided to come and tour Canada in the winter and went up to Northwest Territories and stuff like this. And he dropped by last night for an hour and gave me the glove. And so it was a kind of a really neat hockey experience to do that. So I thought I'd share that story with you. And right after, I got the email from my goalie saying she's ineligible.
Good news, bad news.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to find out if she really is or not. I don't know.
Yeah. Ken, it's all about challenges. Like everything isn't always hunky-dory. It's not peaches and cream. And the ability of players and, more importantly, leaders, coaches, parents, to deal with the adversity you face, the challenges you face are really important. So I just want to wish everybody all the best in the new year. And I'm really thankful to be able to still maintain this call. I think it's going to be a wonderful distraction for me to be able to talk to friends and talk about the game I love. But thanks very much for coming on, Ken. And I'd like to, if you've got any closing comments at all, anything you'd like to say or add moving forward, please do, and we'll let you close it off.
No, I don't have anything else to say. I really enjoyed the conversation and wish everybody a happy new year and keep doing what you're doing. You're really helping the game and helping society just by having these conversations and going back and trying to share what you learned. So thank you and happy new year.
Happy New Year, everybody. And
happy new year, Kenzie.
Dom,
nice
if you want to give me a call sometime and catch up, please do so. Okay.
Do you want to say hi to Ken?
Hi, Ken.
Hi, Kenzie. Wow, you've grown. Holy smoke. I got a picture of you when you were just a little baby.
How old are you now?
6.
Wow.
And I have this girl.
Nice.
Her name's Kitty Queen, and let me go get somebody else. Mommy, okay. Mommy, let me down.
Now you've started something.
Oh, wow.
Bon.
Oh. Wow. Did you get those for Christmas?
Tell Ken what you tell Daddy every time he leaves for the tournament, what the most important thing is.
Have fun.
You're right. You're right. 100%. You say hi to your dad for me, okay?
I will. I'm going to go say hi to him.
He's not here.
Bye.
No, he is. He just came home.
Take care.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks for all the insights, too.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Sammy, we'd love to have Billy on.
Yes.
And get Billy's perspective. And I don't know.
Yeah, only thing, Wally, is they're on they skate at 11 on Thursdays. So Who knows? Maybe with COVID, you never know.
Right.
Oh, we might change a day just for that. to see what a good time is. And
Billy would be
Ken,
great to have on, man.
love you having join us, and we'll get the players' perspective and reinforce some of the things you've said and some of the headbutting you went through, even with Billy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's all part of the process, but it
Was
just
for
sounds
sure.
you've done an excellent job. And for those of you that are on the call, when I was, and I think I've told Ken this story, I was coaching hockey in Calgary and teaching high school, and there was a hockey coaching job at State came available that I applied for. And I thought I had an inside track because the dean, the hiring athletic director, went to teachers college with my brother. So I thought, oh boy, I know this guy. And I got interviewed, but they gave the job to Ken. And I know his background, educational experience. And he talked about special ed. And Ken, I think you might have counseled. Have you counseled before?
Yeah.
And you know those areas created a set of skills that really apply to being able to coach and listen and make better decisions. And they chose the right guy for the job, because look at how long he's lasted and look at what he's doing today. So congratulations, Ken. And I'm going to sign off now. And Dom, thanks for joining us today. Good luck at the school. And what's the temperature in California before we sign off? And Jordan's got some people that said hello too.
Yeah, we're about 10 degrees here. Not that warm.
Okay, well, I think we're at 20 below. Has anybody got a phone on them in Calgary, Ken?
Oh, we've raced up to minus 17.
Okay, all right. Okay, Happy New Year, everybody.
Stop by here we're setting up for a team builder on the weekend. So Wally, you'll recognize them.
Okay. The girls. Hi, girls. Good to see ya. Take care. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye. Wish you a Happy New Year. Take care.